This week's podcast is brought to you by the Beefy Boys. Just three cool dudes hanging out, talking about sports, video games, music, and whatever else they feel like. Find them at their website, www.beefyboys.com. Also, where you find your other podcasts, iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, all the regulars. The Beefy Boys, the best show on planet Earth.
Hi, I'm Renee.
And I'm Jess.
And we're the Deerfoot Sisters. Sorry to interrupt, but we have some breaking news.
We wanted to let you know that right now you're actually only listening to the second best podcast on planet Earth.
That's right. If you want to check out the world's best podcast, search Deerfeed on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, all the regulars.
Deerfeed's a podcast featuring two sisters talking about life and all the kooky things it brings, like rhymes.
So when you're done listening to this episode, be sure to check out Deerfeed. Or you can just do it right now. Thanks!
It's been a while since we have
a podcast
in this room.
We almost missed 2 weeks in a row. That never happens. We are recording, by the way.
Oh, nice. Welcome to the Beefy Boys. It's episode 64. It has been a while since you guys have heard my voice, and I apologize for that. It's been extremely chaotic and hectic the last couple of months.
Big changes going on around here.
A lot of big changes. We're actually moving. The Beefy Boys have officially created a new headquarters.
Oh.
And we'll be moving to that and hopefully, getting things set up there, getting webcams set up so that we can actually fucking live stream. Look at that. It's almost like things are coming together a little bit,
Everything's coming up beefy.
But it's good. I'm excited. I mean, I think it's going to be a step up from in here, from having to record in a living room to being able to record in a shed.
I'm just thinking back, we've had enough dog interruptions. The best one was when they were blowing at the window with the leaf blower. I guess just powered through it.
We'll just have to go through our best interruptions. Make a little compilation of the best interruptions on the show.
I'm still waiting for that burp montage my sister said she was going to make. We stopped doing beer of the week because you went keto for a while, and then we just got lazy. It's like I stopped doing the quiz.
That's very true.
I'm bringing back the quiz. Christian, what's a chocobo?
Isn't it a bird?
Yes.
Yeah.
I still remember. Holy shit, I almost forgot that one. I almost said a sword. I was like, Isn't that a sword? And I was like, ooh, fuck.
All right, well, what's a chocobro? That's just a dude bro who rides a chocobo.
Chocobro.
Joe. What's a Choco-Joe?
What's a Joke-a-Joe?
So I guess we've all had some video game time in the last few.
That's true.
Yeah. I played a game that wasn't Final Fantasy.
So did I.
Wow.
I played a game that, I'll go first, sure, that the build-up has been over a year. I finally started playing Kingdom Hearts 3. Finally. I'm almost done with it.
It's been 3-4 months since I beat it?
Yeah. Well, it's been over a year. It came out a year ago this week. So that's how long this endeavor has been going on. But
and you bought the special
Ultra
version
Deluxe
that
Mega
has all the
Packs.
fucking every
so
single...
I finished every one leading up. Which is so fun. In the end of, I think it was 2.8. Yeah, the end of 2.8, they're explaining all the lore. And the wizard guy says... One of them asks a question, and the wizard guy just says, "Don't worry, Chip and Dale are on that." And Ara my wife just lost her shit at this. She's like, "Oh, of course, don't worry about that, because fucking Chip and Dale are on it. The two chipmunks, they got control of this." She's like, "It's so off-putting to just have, Goofy in there, just, talking about this Japanese anime nonsense, but it's fucking goofy."
Kingdom Hearts in a fucking nutshell.
But the organization is going to send the nobodies after us. Yeah. I'm enjoying the game, but it very much is clear. I mean, first of all, they're literally shoehorning in every single thing. I had no idea that the PSP game lore was going to be so important for this game, but it is. And they've included the enemies from every one of the 10 games. It's absurd. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, at least you replayed every game, and then now you're ready for it.
I also had to start it on hard because when I was playing on normal, it was too easy. It was not fun. But action RPG where there's no risk of ever losing is not fun. So I bumped it up to hard, and I've actually died like twice so far. So, but the story's a hot fucking mess. It's almost over.
There you go.
The cutscenes, I don't even pay attention anymore. I pull up my phone.
Yeah, it was a hot mess.
Yeah, I've been jumping around. I think on the last episode, I think I may have mentioned that I did buy Madden 20.
Yeah, you did.
I said I wasn't going to do it.
Because I gave you a hard time because you said you weren't going to do it, yeah.
But I got it for super cheap. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I played a little bit of Ultimate Team, built up a pretty solid roster, but it's pretty much the same old, same old. If you you can buy like a 68 overall receiver with a 98 speed,
and just burn guys.
and you just throw him the ball. You get a quarterback that has strong arm strength, and you just drop dimes down the field.
They need a new engine for that thing, man.
I think so. I think they just there's so much that Madden is lacking, and I'm having fun with Madden 20. It's doing the job. Like I went to franchise mode. I fired Pete Carroll, hired myself as a head coach, and then I didn't realize that I was playing on
Bork,
dog
bark,
interruption.
bark.
Dog interruption.
Hey, speaking of dog interruptions, by the way, in Kingdom Hearts, Ara pointed this out. One of the battle cries sounds like Sora is saying "woof," and once she pointed it out, I can't unhear it. So sometimes instead of like "ayah" or "huh," he says "woof," and I'm like, "What? Why?"
Dude, it's just stuck in your brain now. So that's all you hear.
I can't unsee it. Yeah.
And so pretty much what it is like, it's the same old thing, but they're missing so much from like the older Maddens. And I saw a video that actually pointed out like the true difference between the early 2000s Maddens and after 2016 Madden. Well, actually, let's say 2013.
Is it the main difference between those years in video games? AKA microtransactions?
Okay, so yeah, you have microtransactions.
Over monetizations of the video game industry?
But it's like, with the capability that EA has for these games, they're creating games like, Battlefront, where it's like, oh, we're going to have, 1,000 players in one match.
Then they kill it with a story.
And then it's going to be like, oh, you can have all these things, and the maps are going to be fucking huge, like Battlefield. We have huge fucking maps, and blah blah blah. And then you get to Madden, and it's like, oh yeah, we can't add a combine.
Why would you want that?
I mean, if you
just to do like mini games and shit, you can do that in NBA 2K. So I can't imagine why they.
If you have the combine, you can have more of an in-depth story if you're creating a player and you go to the draft. It's like if you create a player, you should start at the combine.
So what you want is a Madden RPG.
What they should do,
essentially,
they kind of have it already. Like you earn experience points and you spend them on new skills. I mean, there's not really a tree so much as there's just these are the skills. But
RPG mechanics.
You want like a story mode? They had one, and then they tried to do it again, and the second one was garbage because clearly they only had enough writers on staff to write one 2-hour story. But,
I mean, and even the story mode, it wasn't all that great.
They got to make a Madden MMO.
But like in
an MMO Madden multiplayer online.
Yeah. You should at least be able to create a player and go into the draft with the skill set that you have.
I know, it is really dumb that you just pick what team you want to play for.
So you just pick what team you go for, and then you're immediately a starter.
Yeah, it is
like
pretty
in Madden
stupid.
12, you create your player, you go to the draft, and you get picked by a fucking, garbage team if your stats are good, or if you're like a okay player but has superstar ability to earn experience points after you start succeeding, then you get drafted by, not in the first round, but you'll get picked in like the fourth.
Yeah.
And then you'll have less expectations, and then you get that superstar experience points, whatever the fuck it is. But it was fun because you didn't know what team you were going to end up on. And it's like, well, let's play here until contract season comes up, and then you have the ability to negotiate your contract. And if they don't want you, you get traded, or you get released, and you get picked up by another team.
Well, that's it's weird because all the non-EA sports games have been doing this forever. Like NBA 2K, you get drafted, and then you can. I mean, because of the way the NBA works, and you don't reach free agency for years and years, they've kind of had to story it out so you reach free agency after 1 year. But other than that, like the MLB games, for example, you get drafted and you start playing in Double-A, and you have to work your way up to the majors. And sometimes you get traded in the middle of the season.
Well, it happens in NHL too.
Yeah.
When you start in NHL, you play in the
So why can't
in
yeah,
like the
that's
little
dumb.
subdivisions. So you play for like the Thunderbirds or for the Silvertips or Edmonton
Silvertips?
Oilers and Silvertips.
Silver tips.
So it's like there's so much that Madden could add, but they're not going to add because Vito's right. It doesn't add value because there's no microtransactions.
See, what
So
they're going to do is they're going to add those to the game, but only in very small sections. They have to buy like each section of the combine.
They're going to just keep doing what they do, where they cut features because there's new platforms coming out next year, and then every year they'll add those features back in and act like they're brand new.
Yep.
And then it's like, they add the Pro Bowl, and they're like, what's new? You can now play the Pro Bowl. It's like, dude, we were doing that 2012. We were doing that in like 2016.
What they're going to do is they're going to have a $60 expansion for the combine.
Yeah.
I don't know why they still feel the need to add like a dumb gimmick every year when what they need to do is overhaul their freaking engine, man. The Frostbite engine is not built for those kind of collision physics. It just doesn't work. You still get caught in animation loops. The stuff they've been talking about fixing for 20 years is still a problem.
It's kind of like how World of Warcraft for the last few years has just been building systems upon systems upon systems to fix stuff, when really what the community just wants is for them to sack all the fucking systems and go back to what it worked.
But the one thing I will say is when the animations in the game are not what they were in 2000 or in Madden 19. Madden 19 was just a terrible game. It was just all around fucking horrible.
I liked it just fine. Oh, I didn't play that one. I played 18.
So when you play 20, I will give the game credit where it feels a lot more. It just looks a lot better, and like the player skills have a lot more to do with it now than they did before. It feels like you're playing Madden 08 or Madden 2010 or something, where your 68 corner is going to get annihilated by 97 overall.
Is that the yard people I hear?
No, I think they're cleaning. They're cleaning the roof right now.
There's a buzzsaw or something. Oh, leaf blower maybe.
And so it's like in Madden from like 16 through 19, you could have like a 68 corner, and they'll shut down Julio Jones.
Yeah,
it's like fucking right,
annoying.
dude.
Yeah.
And in Madden 20, you'll have 97 Julio Jones just torching your fucking 68 corner.
Have they finally fixed the situation where if you throw a jump ball, it's either going to get picked off or intercepted? The receiver's never going to catch it, because that always drives me nuts. Like, that corner is 5'8", and that receiver's 6'7". He should win this jump ball every time.
It's like if you have... I mean, it depends on the cornerback's size. So it's like if you're throwing against Richard Sherman, Richard Sherman's a big guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, he is going to either knock down the pass or intercept it. But if you are, if you have a wide receiver like AJ Green or Julio Jones, who is a taller wide receiver, they're most likely going to win over your 5'11" cornerback. But speed has a lot to do with it too. If your cornerback is fast, they will keep up with the receiver. But if the receiver's skill is a lot better than theirs, they're going to lose the battle most of the time.
Well, that's good.
So it makes sense. And then the linebacker jumping has been sort of fixed.
Oh, really? They can't jump 20 feet in the air and react immediately?
Yeah. It's not
Always
like that.
a problem. Linebacker reaction times were out of control.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like you just send a linebacker into deep coverage and they're picking the ball off 100% of the time in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
You'll throw a lob pass and they're still picking that shit off. I mean, there was a lot that needed to be fixed. There's a lot that just needs to go back to the basics. They won't ever do that. I don't think Madden will ever return to what it was.
Well, they can't afford to take the time it would take to fix all that stuff. They can't take a year off, so...
No, maybe not taking a year off, but fuck, maybe at least putting in more work.
What they need to do is hire a small team to keep updates going for the game.
But what they need to do is get rid of the exclusive license so that somebody else can make a better game.
I
and that
agree,
would force
100%.
Well, that too, but what they
because there's no
what they can do.
There's no competition
now is just have a small team that keeps the game updated for people to actually keep playing. and then have the rest of the team focus on working on like the next actual iteration of the game.
Yeah. But why do that when they make so much money the way it is, though? There's no economic
no
incentive, is
incentive.
what I'm getting at. Can they fix the fucking login issues? You know, I'm still locked out of my EA account, and every
Dude,
time I push
fucking-
the send me the fucking password reset email, it just doesn't.
I cannot use Origin.
It's so
I
bad.
cannot.
Why do they
The only
force
reason
it
I'm able
in,
to play
though?
this fucking Star Wars game, by the way, I started playing
It's
Star
because
Wars.
there's no Origin tie-in, I know.
No, it's tied into Origin, but I can
'cause you're on
launch it through
PC.
Steam, and then that automatically goes through my Origin account.
See, but why do I have to log into Origin to play EA Sports games on the PlayStation when I already have a built-in network?
Yeah, that's pretty stupid.
It's
for sure.
so dumb. But I just can't. I can't play them
But
right
speaking
now.
of that, Jedi,
Yeah, tell me
Fallen
about
Order.
this Jedi game. I know Joe talked about it a while.
it's really good, but also, like, man, I got it for PC. I probably should have got it for PlayStation and just got used to it on controller, but yeah, it's not ported over well at all for PC. The controls are very much like exactly how they would be on a console, except you're using like buttons on a different like control scheme. So basically, it's basically the same, except it'd be better on a controller. But I've gotten used to it, and I remapped the fucking dodge key from Z to
We're
Alt.
talking about this in the car.
So now I can
That's
hit
pretty
it
dumb.
hit it with my thumb. The Z key is like right underneath my hand. Like I
And then
can't
you
reach
said that
that
was a
shit.
Oh, because
dodge?
you're
And it
doing
just-
WASD or whatever. And
Because
you
you
could use
gotta
the
do
little pinky
WASD, and then
extender.
it's like right underneath my hand. I was like, how am I supposed to like fucking tuck my pinky under my hand to dodge?
That's why I don't
You
play
played
PC, man. I can't do that
Monster
shit.
Hunter World a lot, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the claw?
No.
The way the camera was mapped up until Monster Hunter World, you had to like press both shoulder triggers and the D-pad all at the same time on the or it was some situation where like the way people would do it was like have your pinky up here and put your fingers across the thing. They called it the claw because it like didn't work any other
weird.
way. Yeah.
But yeah, so I just remapped it to Alt, and that kind of works because it's like right next to space, and my hand's kind of big, so it's kind of awkward, but I've gotten used to it. And now that I'm playing it on PC, I'm like, once I got a control that like made sense and got used to it, I 6 hours in can now like beat things pretty handily.
I've been playing another game too. This is kind of a Joe game, but it's kind of a big deal. It's called Life is Strange 2. Do you either of you familiar with this game?
I've seen it on sale.
Yeah, it's like a walking simulator. It's very much like a choice-driven, story-based game.
Yeah,
It takes place in Seattle, at least in the beginning. I'm gonna spoil the first like.
I think
10
I've heard
minutes
of the
this
first
game for
one
you.
like a while back.
Yeah, the first one was in like it was like fake Astoria, Oregon, a place called Arcadia Bay that they made
Yeah.
it. But this one it starts in Seattle, in like the South Park Rainier Beach area, just based on the way the neighborhood looks. So they don't ever actually say it, but that's also the two kids are Hispanic, so I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be somewhere in South Seattle.
Oh, there you go, South Center, baby.
Anyway, the first 10 minutes of this game, you play as this guy. His name's Sean Diaz. He has a younger brother, Daniel. Daniel is like 10. Sean's 16. So it's like Halloween. Daniel's figured out how to make like movie-grade fake blood with corn syrup and shit. He's playing in the yard, gets it on your racist neighbor's shirt, who's like 17. They start shoving each other. You go out there. You push this kid. He falls down and like gets the wind knocked out of him, but he's covered in fake blood. A cop happens to roll by at that exact moment, gets out of the car, freaks out, and shoots your dad and kills him.
Wow.
Now, your brother has telekinetic powers that manifest in this exact moment where he throws the cop and his car like off a cliff. So
Wow.
then you're running away from having murdered a policeman who killed your father. And that's the rest of the game. That's the opening 5 minutes, yeah. So
Damn.
Well, I'll be damned.
it's pretty cool.
And the opening fucking like 5 minutes of Star Wars sucked too, because they're like, "Here's this person that you're gonna like love as a character, and
He
then
immediately
we're
gets
gonna immediately kill him
murdered,
off."
yeah. Yeah. That game was fun. The game was fun.
This loving, endearing, like older character to the Jedi person that you're gonna be. They like have all these hooks and stuff for the character just being like, "Oh, I really like this guy. He's so
That game has some of
cute little
the
person," and then just kills him.
we in our call it the Uncanny Valley. I don't know what to call it, but move of putting actual Hollywood actors in game and just modeling the characters off of them, because what's his name? Cameron Monaghan is the main character from the gay kid from Shameless,
Yeah.
which is like so off-putting. It's like
is
because I've
really
watched
weird,
every
like,
episode and
because-
I'm like, what's Ian Gallagher getting himself into now?
I feel like because I haven't seen him before.
Oh, you didn't watch Shameless?
No, so
oh, you should. It's good.
I
At least
feel
the
like
first few
it,
seasons.
It looks perfectly fine to me. The one that I find the weirdest is his master in the ship.
You recognize that
The
actress?
woman. No, I don't recognize the actress, but her just face looks really.
I think
weird
that's just what
in
she looks
CGI.
like, though. But yeah, it does. She looks very bug-eyed. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
weird.
because like I think it's just the translation from real life to CGI or whatever just makes
Yeah.
it look weirder than it does in real
I think
life.
it's the shaved head with the like big eyes. Because when there's a flashback scene, I don't know if you got to it, but there's a flashback scene where she
I
has like
haven't.
a big poofy. I think she has dreadlocks, and she looks less weird.
Oh, nice.
So it might just be the shaved head.
It's
plus
weird
the
when they put-
big buggy eyes.
Like Hollywood actors in games.
I haven't
Yeah.
started
Like
playing.
like
it.
Norman Reedus.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
Yeah.
downloaded Death Stranding, and it's just like Norman Reedus' face is like the cover art, just staring at me, and I'm like, all right, does this one freak you out? Did you watch Walking Dead? She's like, I tried to, but yeah, that's just the guy from Walking Dead.
That show
Like,
fucking
Although
sucks.
even though that it can be really weird, I'm still really looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077 with Keanu Reeves.
he's barely in it though. He's because my understanding, and they delayed that, by the way. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
They did. I'm
and the
fine
Final
with
Fantasy
them.
Yeah.
7 remake, like the same
I was
day.
expecting that though.
I'm totally cool with them
It's delay season.
delaying.
Yeah, well,
Delaying
good because we need.
Cyberpunk.
Well, I don't know. New consoles coming out though.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna want to go back. You know.
Well, apparently, the newest console is going to be the for PlayStation at least, it's going to be completely backwards compatible.
That's for Xbox too, so I guess that'll
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, it might not be able to play discs or whatever, but if you download it and you have the account, who the fuck gets discs?
I loved
anymore?
the memes, by the way, of the PlayStation 5 logo reveal because it's literally the same font exactly, just with a 5 instead of a 4. Did you see this?
I haven't seen it. No.
So it's like
great.
internal design meeting at Sony. It's the guy just on the computer deletes the 4, puts in a 5, like
Yeah.
mission complete.
Well, I mean, don't try to fix it if it ain't broke. you know?
That's the thing, I mean-
it works.
It's doing its thing.
I mean,
works.
So is Xbox.
All it is
I'm
just
sure-
PS.
I'm sure-
PS5.
Calling
So-
it the
so is
Xbox
Xbox with
One,
their
they
names,
should have
they're-
just
they're
gone
still
Xbox,
doing-
Xbox 2, Xbox 3, because
No,
now
they're still doing sexual names for their Xboxes ever since the Xbone.
Xbone,
Yeah,
the Series
what's this one
X,
called again? The stupid name. For it?
Scarlet.
the Series X. It's called the Series X.
Oh,
the
oh, yeah,
Xbox
X.
Series X. Oh yes, the
X.
Xbox X. You think they'd learn? Remember the discless one? Oh man, Microsoft,
boy.
what you doing?
Yeah, honestly, they're probably doing it on purpose.
What you doing?
They're probably
Yeah.
doing it on purpose. They're just probably a bunch of horny boys up
What else have
there.
I been? I've been playing a lot.
Horny boys.
Horny boys.
Playing a lot of Pokemon. Finished the main campaign on that one.
So, back on the Star Wars though, real quick, the first area, there is a mini Toad boss
oh yeah,
that you don't really necessarily have to fight.
yeah.
Because I was having such trouble with dodge and stuff, that thing killed the fuck out of me. I died like 20 times
Oh,
to it.
You're talking about the optional one with the alternate the palette swap. It got like a
It's in its like
orange
own
and,
little arena.
Yeah,
and there's a thing behind it you have to get.
yeah. You're not supposed to fight that one at that time. You're supposed to come back and fight it.
Oh well,
later.
I killed it anyway because he doesn't go into the cave.
Oh,
And
you
so
just glitched him.
Yeah, so you just walk in, bap him, and roll back
Yeah.
into the cave. Walk in, bap him, roll back into the cave, and you never take.
I
any
did
hit.
learn. So there's a trophy for chopping off. Like it even says in the monster guide, like chop off its tongue to. And I'm like, how the hell do you do this? Because I use the freeze time power, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I swear I hit that tongue. Apparently, you have to force pull it out of his mouth, which is not clear.
Oh
but
yeah,
that's the trick.
because
to it.
that's the thing is like I remember seeing that in a movie or something where you chop the fucking thing,
the tongue. Yeah,
the tongue, in like one of the monsters, and so like, so that's immediately what I thought of. I tried doing it and I couldn't do it, and I don't have force pull yet because it takes like fucking 8 hours.
because it's a Metroidvania, and you need to unlock the moves that are going to give you traversal power.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part of that game, honestly, is just like the weird shenanigans that the stormtroopers get up to.
Yeah, I love hearing all the dialogue. It's
Yeah.
all like really interesting and funny.
Yeah.
Just random dialogue.
Like like when you walk up to
Is it a
an
free
area-
roam or is it what is this?
Is it what?
Is it like a? Is it free roam?
No,
Is it not
sort of.
free roam?
It's
It's-
linear-ish free roam because you can move around wherever you want, but there's only certain paths you can go.
It's like Metroid or Castlevania in that.
There's a lot of locked areas.
Yeah,
that
there's
you
a lot
can
of
get to
backtracking
later
once you get
when
the power you
have
need.
new
The
powers
map
and
is
stuff.
really useful about this because it'll like even
the
show
map
you
is so good.
every time you enter a new area, every exit to that area, and whether or not you have the ability to open it. So
Yeah.
like if there's a way you can't go
It
yet, it
also
just has like a red door
unexplored,
marker.
blocked, or available.
Yeah,
and
Nice.
which is pretty nice.
yeah, it's
which
so
is
good.
pretty nice.
But I also still like spent like 10 minutes in like 2 or 3 different areas trying to find out where to go. Because there was just a little sliver of area where I could just walk through.
Yeah.
Or there was like a little like thing somewhere that was up high or something that I just didn't see.
There's also no fast travel, which means sometimes you have to run back to your ship. You get totally lost. Definitely happened to me
Yeah.
more than once.
Fuck yeah, dude. Star Wars.
And speaking, did you guys
good
see
game,
the
though.
movie, the new one?
No,
I still haven't seen the new movie, no.
I'm not gonna watch it, to be honest
I
with you.
hated it. It was bad. But have you seen the end
Was
of The
it- so,
Mandalorian?
Was it good as a movie at
No.
all? No, not at all.
It was rushed. The pace was way off. There was too much happening, and it went out of its way to talk shit about Last Jedi like 5 times, which is so weird. Also, the plot doesn't make any sense.
No.
I mean, the
Bummer.
movie just looks retarded.
It's bad.
That's what Star Wars has become, just like one
Yeah.
giant retarded meme. But then you got you
See,
know, you do have the sub
I knew
series.
this wasn't gonna work out. Like as soon as they had multiple directors between all the films.
But they've always done that. Like George Lucas didn't direct Empire Strikes Back. That was somebody else.
Really?
Yeah.
I do like Mandalorian.
Well, I guess I don't know my information, but
I like what John Favreau
really
been able
seemed-
to
No,
do.
it was very much like in response to the toxic backlash to The Last Jedi, they went out of their way to basically decanonize everything that happens in The Last Jedi, which is like that's the best Star Wars movie. Also, there are scenes in this movie that a braver filmmaker would have explored more thoroughly, but in this case, they have no payoff. So I guess I can just ruin this for you if neither of you are planning to see this.
I'll eventually watch it. But I don't care.
There's a moment where it appears, so they're on this planet going after the MacGuffin. I forget what it's called, like a Sith dagger or something. And Chewie gets captured, and he's on an Imperial transport. Rey is trying to use her Force powers to pull it down. Kylo Ren is there also fighting against her, trying to pull it off. And in a moment of anger, Rey releases like this gigantic blast of Force lightning that explodes this transport. So it appears as though she had killed Chewbacca. 20 minutes later, he's not dead. Apparently, he was on a different transport ship that nobody saw arrive or leave, and he's totally fine.
The fuck?
Like, why didn't they just kill Chewbacca? That would have been a better payoff, right?
Yeah. Because then it would have been
because
like,
it would have been the consequence of her
the
own
consequence
bullshit.
Exactly.
falling
of
to
having the
darkness.
Force.
Also,
you know?
remember in The Last Jedi how she wasn't anyone important? She's Emperor
Yeah.
Palpatine's granddaughter now, which raises so many questions.
Who
Also,
fucking
he's
knows?
back. He's
This
still
movie's
alive.
fucking
He's
retarded.
still alive. Like, what the fuck? He's
Didn't
still
he
alive.
fall from like a fucking
Yeah.
billion feet?
Nobody ever dies from falling into a pit in Star
That's
Wars,
why I
first
thought.
of all.
That's why I thought fucking Han Solo was gonna come back eventually. I said they're not gonna kill this fucker.
He comes back as a Force ghost.
I mean, okay, at least he's a fucking ghost. But
Wait,
when
how
I
did
saw
he-
him fall, in,
How the fuck is he a Force ghost? He's not
He's
a Jedi.
not a Jedi? Yeah, I know.
when I saw him
He
fall
might be a hallucination. I don't know.
in the fucking in the whatever the fuck it's called, Force Awakens, I was like, he's not fucking dead. I was like, this is fucking Star Wars. Nobody fucking dies.
They
in
need
this.
to give up on the newer films and just go back to the fucking ancient era of Star Wars that we used to have stuff for before it was decanonized.
They could have made. They could have
Like the
made
Legends
Kylo
stuff?
Ren.
Yeah, they need to start just like they need to give up on that generation of Star Wars movies and just go back to the Legends stuff and like make movies for those.
They could have had some cool ass fucking villains, man. Instead, they just made him.
Kylo Ren is pretty badass, man.
Kylo Ren's a fucking whiny little bitch.
He's
The
very
first
emo,
two movies,
sure.
a fucking whiny little. Those movies are so
See,
fucking
I don't
dumb.
mind him being that kind of character if there was some sort of payoff for it, and instead of it, they just like suddenly weirdly
It's not. He's
becoming
just a
allies
fucking
and-
baby. You're just like,
Yeah.
fucking. I have such strong powers, and I'm one of the most evil people in the movie, but I'm such a bitch. He's a
Well,
fucking.
that was the
pain-
idea, though. He wasn't Darth Vader or the Emperor. Like, he always had goodness in him, which was like tearing him apart. Also, he had a serious temper. Although I would be pretty fucking pissed off if my mentor tried to murder me when I was a child because he thought he
Yeah,
had like a bad
seriously.
dream about me. Like,
Yeah.
like, you know, that would be super fucked up.
They fucking cut Luke Skywalker.
like Anakin all over again.
Off.
Yeah, except that Anakin. That's yeah.
Cause
I hate sand.
because they wanted to get rid of Anakin because he was too powerful and was going to ruin everything or something, right?
It's just too bad that both the people that played Anakin ruined their own careers.
Jake Lloyd. Jake Lloyd quit
other
making
actor.
movies after that.
Anakin wasn't destroyed in the movie. The actor destroyed his own career.
Hayden Christensen.
I'll
you
tell
watch-
you this though, I don't fucking give a shit about the new Star Wars movies. I just think they're fucking dumb. I think that
I wish they had more of a cohesive. See, I'm spoiled by all the Star Wars video games having such good stories that, like, the movies, I'm like, is there even a cohesive plot between all three of them?
I mean,
Well,
it's just
they
like what
say-
Joe says. They don't know what direction they want to go in. It's just
Yeah.
like they're just like spouting shit out their ass.
It's like they
Rey
made the
is
movies just to.
Palpatine's granddaughter. Well,
Granddaughter.
What the fuck is that?
Again,
And why the fuck is he alive?
that means
What the
that means
fuck?
Palpatine fucks, and who the hell is having sex with that man?
That means he fucks.
Yeah. Also, who left her on the planet? Still no fucking idea. Who were her parents? And
So
also
did
like
she turn into a bad guy?
no.
Well, yeah, who the fuck
Kylo
was
Ren turns into a
Palpatine's,
good
like-
guy
Well, who the fuck
for
was
one
Palpatine's
moment
kids?
and then dies. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no
So
idea.
Kylo Ren fucking dies.
Yeah, he dies. So
Yeah, this movie's retarded.
at the end, they like form a force dyad or whatever the hell that is. Somebody's on your back porch sweeping stuff. I don't know. And then
And what the fuck happened to Captain Phasma? I don't even
she
remember
died.
What the fuck
She
happened?
died in The Last Jedi.
That fucking
She went out
sucks.
like a chump. Just so what? Boba Fett went out like a chump too. He's all over the extended universe. I mean,
Fucking hate it, man.
they did
need
her
to do
wrong,
better.
man.
They need to do better. They
Also,
just need to
like-
They just need to dig a hole. They need to throw Lucasfilms in there. They gotta throw Star Wars in
Well,
there.
I
and
watched
just
this.
fucking
I
bury
watched
it.
the Witcher series. I liked it.
I couldn't get into it. There's too much lore. I
Yeah.
tried to watch the first episode, and I'm like, this isn't great.
I played the games, and so I kind of know what's
Did you
going
play
on.
them recently?
Recently enough.
Because I played Witcher 3 for like 300 hours, and I was so lost. Also, I was only half watching it, I will admit.
Yeah, you definitely have to pay attention, and there's also weird time jumps, which I don't like how they did because they didn't even like say there was a time jump happening. So the only reason I knew that there was a time jump is because I saw Full Test as a kid in one of the scenes.
Is that the princess?
Full Test is the king.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is in that same time period, I guess.
So we saw him as a kid and as an adult in the TV show.
I watched like half of the first episode, and it was like, go kill this woman. She was a princess, and then she had to die. And I'm a weird sorcerer guy who conjures up naked ladies all over the place. And then,
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like it takes a few episodes to get going, and even then, it's a little, galaxy brain to
Can
try
you
to figure it out. But
give me a high overview of what this toss a coin thing is, because I see the memes and I'm so lost.
I think it's literally just the what the bard sings.
Is it really catchy?
No.
Okay.
I think it's just because the Bard is like such a fucking dweeb. I think that's what it is.
I think it's just because we
Aren't
love
all
the
the
game.
bards
internet.
dweebs?
The internet fucking loves this guy with his little mandolin.
He's really funny.
I mean, yeah, I think it's just because he's.
I'll give it another try.
dweeb.
I just know Ara's gonna hate it, so it's like
Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't watch it with anyone who doesn't know.
It's
The Witcher.
nothing that I would binge. It's nothing that I'd binge, but it's not bad.
I would only binge it
Yeah,
because if you watch it over a long period of time, you're not going to be able to
you won't
connect everything.
follow. Yeah.
Yeah, because we watched 6 episodes in one day, and then we watched the other 2 episodes the next day, and I totally got like most of what was going on.
Like the one thing is it came out at a bad time because I started watching El Chapo, so it was like stuck
Yeah.
between watching something that's real and then something that's the complete opposite.
We watched
New
it when
Aaron
it was
Hernandez
when it was
documentary,
over, so
too.
I watched the Aaron Hernandez documentary.
Have you finished The Mandalorian?
I have not finished the Mandalorian.
I still haven't watched The Mandalorian. I need to set down a day to binge it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm watching El
Create a
Chapo
free trial
now.
account
I watched Inception
just
for
to
the
binge
first time.
Mandalorian.
You watched Inception for the first
the
time.
very first
that was
time.
the only movie I've ever fallen asleep at the theater. I had smoked a lot of weed, which is like that's the worst movie to fall asleep at because there's those dubstep wows that happen all the time, which would jolt me awake. I'm like, I'm trying to nap.
That movie
Christopher
was-
Nolan.
That movie was fucking sweet, man.
Also,
I enjoyed it.
Just double checking, The Mandalorian is actually good, right?
Yes, Mandalorian's
It's
good.
okay. It starts strong, then it get kind of lost in the middle, and then the ending is good. Although, in answer to the question, why is the Mandalorian such an idiot? There is no answer. He's just a fucking idiot. He does a lot of really stupid stuff, and he doesn't learn from his mistakes, like, ever. He makes the same mistake over and over and over again.
Okay.
It's really annoying.
It's true.
It's like, can you stop trying to leave Baby Yoda behind? Like, just stop. Like, it's never going to work.
That's funny. I'm sure it'll still be fun to watch, though. Binge it once.
It's only 8 episodes, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like The Witcher. I finished in 2 days.
There you go.
I've burned
Probably
through
could have
2
fished it one
seasons.
day, but
2 seasons of fucking Mexican cartel violence. I can't believe how violent that fucking show is, man. It's like almost every
That
episode.
man is fucking violent.
It's almost like every episode, you know, like fucking 15 people get machine gunned in the middle of the street, and you're just like, eh. And then that next episode, it happens again. Then there's a ginormous war, and then you're like, huh, this is crazy. And then there's a fucking
There's a lot
tank.
of blood and gore in Witcher.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of death, a lot of slicey dicey.
I haven't played it on the Switch. Maybe I'll get back into it.
I did wish kind of that he'd have used more of his signs. They use it
Yeah.
like 3 times total in all 8
I
episodes.
saw him fighting a monster in the beginning, but then it was just a lot of exposition and characters talking, and there were so many characters.
Yeah.
So
I
many.
feel like the second season, this is one of those things where like the first season's good if you can follow it, and then like the second season is going to be way better because the first season sort of sets
this
up.
is how I felt about Game of Thrones too, where I watched like the first few episodes. I'm like, I have no effing idea what happens, and then the Eddard Stark gets his head chopped off, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then I read the books and went through and watched it again. And I'm like, oh, I really should have been paying more attention the first time I watched this show.
For sure.
So I legit had no idea what was going on.
I definitely hope they do a bunch of seasons of The Witcher because it's really, really good.
Oh yeah.
They probably will. There's no reason why.
I've already heard they're going to do a second season. Which
So
I'm
it's like I
excited
said, it's not a bad series, but it's like if you don't really follow from the get-go,
for. Yeah.
if you half-ass watch it,
Yeah.
dog interruption.
Bark, 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 bark.
And
bark.
I'm
If
a
you
huge,
half-ass watch it,
Yeah.
you're fucked.
And I'm a
good luck.
huge binger for story. I love binging story. And so the Witcher actually is perfect for me
Fucking dogs.
because it has so much story to like go through. Whereas like I find myself in a lot of shows, there'd be periods where I just want to kind of skip over to the.
See,
where
that's
the
the
next
thing.
story
Usually
point
when
is.
I'm watching TV, it's a second screen experience.
Yeah.
And I'm playing Switch.
I
or
really need to
something.
get a second monitor. And then I can watch Mandalorian as a second screen experience while I'm playing Final Fantasy.
While you're waiting to queue for a dungeon or
Dude,
something.
the only
or-
thing with like being playing these Modern Warfare and Madden, those are like my 2 newest games that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Watching fucking El Chapo has almost made me relapse and play fucking Wildlands again for
Why?
like the 70th time.
so weird.
Dude, cartel violence, man. That's
I'm,
what it
after I
is.
finish Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm probably going to go into Death Stranding just because I need something that
Dude,
has...
that game looks lame.
No way. It's
Like-
a Kojima game. It's gonna be great.
Kojima,
Is that that one,
Kojima,
like, creepy one
Hiroshima,
that had,
don't
like, not a lot
fucking
of
matter.
information for a long while?
Yes.
I
With
want
the
to play
Bridge
that,
Baby
too.
and
I heard
all
it was
that
be
fun
really good.
Jesus. All that fun stuff.
Have you played it at all yet?
No, I downloaded
You
it.
should let me know how it is.
Yeah. Now that I have like disposable income, I have too many fucking games to play, so I buy more than I can play. There's like a big sale right now, but I'm like, I can't. There's like literally 20 games I haven't played yet. And I know more are coming out. I'm not gonna buy like fucking whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about.
There's nothing new that I want to get my hands on. Star Wars.
Yeah, Stars.
Nah, I'm just not interested in it.
Oh, but
Don't
it's
you
such a
have Game
good
Pass
game.
though? Like, this is a golden opportunity. You get so many.
There's
great
nothing.
games.
There's
You get
nothing
it?
new on there
Do
that
you
I
get it
want to
through
play.
Game Pass?
No.
Oh, that's
If it was on
bummer.
Game Pass, I'd play it, but I'm not gonna buy it because I won't finish it. I'll play it for like 20 minutes. I'll be like, this game is fucking sweet, and then I'll go right back to Call of Duty.
Of course.
Well,
It took him a year to finish Red Dead, and he was the most
True.
excited of anyone for it.
true.
He's got a point. And Red Dead was it was great. Aged
Different
like a
strokes
fine
for
wine.
different folks.
That's right.
Apparently, Take-Two is getting all up in Rockstar's ass about not releasing enough games, so maybe they'll finally make GTA 6.
Who needs more GTA games?
They haven't released one in 10 years.
5 was good enough.
5 is good,
5 was fun.
but
5 was a lot of fun.
the best part of GTA games are
What they
the
need to do is make it just
cultural
a
commentary,
new
man.
game.
like a new game period.
Yeah.
What would you want to see them do?
I don't fucking know.
I liked Red Dead, even though it was
I like getting surprised by
a
games.
different pace, a
Like,
very slow-paced game. Red
GTA,
Dead.
It was very,
GTA
very
6,
slow.
World of Warcraft 10, like
Final Fantasy 16.
Final Fantasy 20.
But I think that's why we're excited for Cyberpunk. It's a whole new fucking game.
It's a whole new, fresh.
But
take.
it's based on existing property.
Well, yeah, but it's not. It's a new game though.
Yeah. I'm worried it's going to be bad.
I don't think
Yeah.
so, man. I think that game's gonna be
But I mean,
fun.
it's made by the
Just
same people as
worried it's gonna
Witcher.
be
It
bad.
couldn't be that bad.
Yeah, but it's like a shooter. I don't know how
So?
to do gun combat. Like, are they going to be good at gun combat? Also, it's mostly in first person. I'm just concerned.
I'm always down when a company is okay to admitting, hey, our game is not ready.
Yeah.
It's ready to play, and you can play it, and we can release it, but what we're going to do is not do that, and we're going to take the time, and we're going to really fucking play through it and figure out what needs to be fixed. I'm always down for a company doing
Yeah.
that. Red Dead did that, and look at how Red Dead came
Yeah,
out.
they pushed it back like 6 months.
They
too.
did, and the game came
No,
out.
I mean Witcher or
Nice and dandy.
Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk they pushed back like 6 months.
Doom Eternal got pushed back because they
Yeah.
were like, it's ready to play, but we're not ready to
Have
release
you
it.
played that new Doom game? I have that one too.
What is
The new Doom game was a lot of fun, but
The
I burned through it
2016?
so fast.
Yeah,
And then the online, they tried to make it
I
like
haven't
Halo.
paid
but-
attention to Doom in a while. What are these?
the 2016 Doom game.
Yeah,
it's
what is
supposed
it?
to be really good. It's
It was
just
fun.
Doom. It's like it's a
Oh shit!
Restarting
No, I
of
did
Doom.
play that game.
Yeah,
in
it's just like
2016.
couple years ago, yeah, that
it's just
that-
like
and then Doom
absurd-
Eternal is the sequel. It's coming out. Like,
It's just like absurd, mindless demon violence. It's fucking
No,
sick.
it was really fun. I played that game
Like
for a while.
blowing them
Yeah?
up and shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
I didn't finish.
I'm
the
kind
game
of
because I'm
interested. I just
terrible
know
at
I can't
shooters,
play it in
but-
front of Aura because she'll hate it. She hates like hyper violent stuff like that.
Well,
Violence
it's
for
like
violence is
beyond
sick.
violent,
Yeah,
but
I know.
it's
But it's like
fucking
demons
awesome.
and shit, you know? Like she doesn't like when I play Yakuza, mostly because I think she thinks it's boring. But she's like, "You're just beating those guys up." I'm like, "I beat that guy." Like I said, I beat that guy up with a bicycle, and I beat that other guy up with a giant flagpole. All right, this is not real violence. Like, I started beating him up with a bicycle, then it turned into a broken bicycle, then it turned into a broken bicycle tire.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of new video games, there's nothing that I'm in the market for.
I love in Fallen Order just pushing people off cliffs. It's
It
so
is.
good.
They are conveniently placed next to the cliffs
Yeah.
quite frequently.
I think that was one of my favorite parts in.
and you know those little like exact poison things?
Mm-hmm. They can
I-
force push those into the
Of course,
rats
push
and
those
shit.
into people too. Yeah, and they explode. It's great.
I like in Assassin's Creed when they have like the archers up on the roof, and you'd be able to like yank them off and like just watch them fall. I think that was always fun. Like you
Oh my
get into
God.
like a
I'm so excited for force pull now because like I'll be able to see people across the way and pull them off.
for force skin.
Pretty
Yeah.
nice, like the rocket launchers when you can just force push them back at the guy who shot them.
Yeah,
pretty
it's so
nice.
fun.
You know what game that I had a lot of fun with that had like weird powers and abilities like this was Bulletstorm. You guys ever remember
Yeah,
that game? That
I remember it.
ultra
That
violent
was a
game
while ago.
where you'd like there'd be like elements in the game like a wall with fucking rebar on it, and you'd just like pick somebody up and then just like whip them into this wall and they'd just
Oh.
be stuck there. It was like, and you'd get like creativity points for like the more creative your kills were. So it was like you'd be able to like lasso somebody up,
Okay.
throw them up in the air, shoot them in the head, and then lasso them again, and then throw them into like a fucking Venus flytrap and watch them get eaten. And it's like,
Nice.
oh, you get fucking 3,000 ultra mega bunker busting points for throwing this guy into a fucking Venus
Yeah,
flytrap.
I got an achievement for knocking 20 people off the cliff.
So it's the game. The game wants you to do that shit.
Yeah.
For sure.
I also got that ability, the force repulse or whatever, where you like jump up and then slam down on the ground and it knocks people back.
Oh,
I did that on like a really skinny ridge where it just like knocked like 5 people.
did you get the throwing your lightsaber throw yet?
No,
That
I
one's
think it must
pretty
be after
cool.
I get force pull because I noticed that every time
some
you
of it's still locked.
yeah, so you can't unlock skills at a certain point until you unlock the next like new ability.
So is it like a skill tree that you can?
There is a skill
There's
tree.
3
yeah.
skill trees. There's lightsaber, defense, and force.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you get a new force ability, it seems it unlocks the further down the tree.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I like that. I like that progression system.
Yeah, it's really
like
good.
Well, the world of video games is pretty strong right now. World of
We
sports.
did 45 minutes on it.
The world of sports has
Yeah.
kind of died down. You know, I guess I'll throw my sports corner shenanigans here really quick. Seahawks can't play 4 quarters of football and expect to win in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Told you they were outperforming their expectation, man. They weren't ever that good.
They were still pretty
Point
fucking good.
differential of a 9-win team. All right.
They're still pretty
What are
good.
they at now?
The Super Bowl's in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Well,
Super
that's all
Bowl's in
that's
2
left.
weeks. Seahawks are out. Niners and
Chiefs.
What were their points?
What?
what's
the
that?
the Seahawks, what points did they have?
Oh,
Or
they
win-loss?
lost in the divisional round.
Yeah, they lost in the divisional round. I think it was like
The-
28-24 or
No, what was
28-21?
their total win-loss this year? Or whatever?
Oh, they won 12 games. 11? 11-5?
They won 11-5 and then
Yeah.
won a playoff game, so technically 12-5. But,
Wow.
which I'll take. That's fucking better than what they said that they were gonna. They said that the Seahawks were gonna go even or less. Somebody said the Seahawks were gonna win 4 fucking
I
games
said
this
they were
year.
going to be 7-9. I was wrong. You were closest when you said fucking 13-3. That's
Yeah.
so crazy.
See, I told you I was
crazy.
drunk and fucking ready to rumble, man. Don't fuck with me and my Seahawks. Seahawks Twitter is like just blowing out of control right now.
Really?
It's because a lot of people are tired with the coaching and there's a lot of questionable calls that Pete Carroll has and people don't know if he's the future. But then again,
it's what we've been saying
Hold
for
on,
years.
I just got a revelation here. Sports, the people in charge suck. Video games, the people who have been in charge lately have sucked. Politics, the people in charge lately have sucked. I have a feeling that there's an entire generation of just really shitty people who are leading things right now.
probably.
Oh, you talking shit about baby boomers?
I don't know. Are they all baby boomers? I feel like they're
Mostly.
like in their 40s or something, like 50s.
Gen Xers? I mean,
must be.
yeah.
So, the one thing I have to say is there's a God, I don't even know what to call him, fucking journalist or whatever. I got a lot of quarrel with this guy because he goes on Twitter and he speaks his mind, but he's retarded. Everything he says about the
Damn.
Seahawks, everything he says about the Seahawks, everything he says is retarded. And it's really just like you can't go on Twitter during the games because this guy is literally just.
Why don't you just mute him, man?
I did. I already blocked him. But he's like, he's like a Seahawks journalist. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll follow him, see what's up. One, if you hit him back with an argument, he will not respond because he doesn't know how to respond. Two, he's like an unstable fucking mental patient when he watches a game.
Is he actually a journalist? Like, what newspaper does he write for?
Like I think he does his own show and his own website, and he's got like a bunch of followers, and
So
it's
he's a
weird because
fan,
everybody
then.
who follows him hates him. And the one thing I did,
It was
the one
like
thing
a
I
hate
did was
watch?
I was like, fuck this guy. I just blocked him. But then he pops up on other people. Like I follow a bunch of different Seahawks things, but he'll pop up and he'll hit him with like something super fucking dumb, like really fucking dumb. I think one of the things was saying that he said that Houston won the Jadeveon Clowney trade. Are you fucking retarded, dude? Jadeveon Clowney was one of the best players on the Seahawks this year, being triple and double teamed every fucking game. And then he's saying the Seahawks are going after Derrick Henry and it'd be a bad move. How is that a bad fucking move? The Seahawks were phenomenal when they had a power back like Marshawn Lynch, and now you want to go out and get another power back to bring that strong run game in and have Derrick Henry and Chris Carson as your main running backs. That's pretty fucking good. Like, I think this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and somehow he's like official. It just drives me nuts. And
I
I've
don't
hit him
think
back.
he's official. Is he verified?
He's verified, and he's got a bunch of
wow.
a bunch of followers, and people just eat this shit up. And every time I respond with an argument, will not respond back.
Maybe he just doesn't like you.
I'm like, dude, are you going to argue here? Are you going to sit there and argue with yourself? Because he'll respond to his tweets like 12 times. He'll tweet something and then he'll respond to it.
I
like
hate
12
that. They
times.
shouldn't let you do that. That's very much against the spirit of Twitter. There's a reason there's a character limit. Like, be concise.
But it's like, if you're updating news, sure, you can add it to your thread. But if you're arguing with yourself, you look like you're mentally ill. This guy's like arguing with himself, and then you send him an argument, and then it either gets blocked or it just gets ignored. And it's just like, what's going on with you, man?
New segment for 2020. Christian complains about random sports blogger.
Well, I just think that Seahawks Twitter's. I think there's a lot of stupid sports fans. There's a lot of them.
True.
And it's not just for one franchise; it's for every team.
There's a lot of stupid sports franchises, man.
But I'm going to tell you this much: I'm not following any other team's journalist or anything like that, so I don't see any of that dumb shit. But I'm following this guy, and I think his name is fucking Evan. But holy shit, I couldn't fucking stand him. I had to block him, and then now I'm still seeing him on all these other threads. I'm like, can this guy just fucking get banned from Twitter, please? But one thing I will say, Huskies Twitter is on a whole nother level right now.
Christ.
I think, so Coach Jimmy Lake, replacing Chris Peterson is not an easy thing to do, especially if you're coming from a defensive coordinator, but he has been very successful in his coaching career, and he kept, sorry, I got shit in my throat. He kept all 23 committed recruits. Huskies have the best recruiting class in the Pac-12 right now. And then a 4-star DB who decommitted from Washington has officially recommitted back to Washington and is coming back to play. And then Coach Jimmy Lake announced on Twitter, he said spring ball is going to be an official game. He says it's going to be 4 quarters of football, and he said that he expects that stadium to be packed, which is something that I really I think it's good. I think it's something that, because people don't go to spring ball because all it is just you're watching them do drills, and that's it. But it's nothing bad. Like, if you care about sports, it's still fun to go see. But he's making it a legit game.
But why would you do that? Because now you're risking injury for
no
reason.
You're not going to have fucking ginormous hits or anything.
So then
like
it's not a real game. Then it's just a practice.
It's still
a scrimmage.
It's still 4 quarters. Their scrimmages now are like from the 25-yard line to the end zone.
Yeah.
And it's like he's not looking for that. He's looking for a full-on spring game so that he could test these players out. He can bring in these new guys, all these new tight ends that are coming in that could be very, big vertical threats for UW. He's bringing in new quarterbacks since Jake Eason's fucking retarded and going to the draft. He's bringing in so many new things, and he's allowing these guys to actually bomb down the field or make big plays. He's allowing running backs to shine. I think it's going to be great. He's allowing DBs to make their plays. So I do think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be something that's, worth, if he really wants to make it a fucking spring game, look at how these SEC schools pack their stadiums.
Yeah, that's different, though.
He wants
that's
that.
Cultural.
He wants.
You're not going to get that out of Seattle, though. They just don't care.
I think he's going to make it. I think he's going to make them care.
I think you live in a bubble.
I think he's going to make them care. Why can Oregon have such a big SEC style of,
Because the University of Oregon isn't in Portland. It's in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Well, that's true, but granted, you could still have a big fucking... The main important thing is getting students to go to these games and packing these fucking games. Because, the student base at UW should be going to these games all the time. But instead, you're getting a bunch of fucking Dave Matthews fans packing up the stands who fucking don't make any noise. It's like, that place needs to be buzzing, dude. That place needs to be loud. That place needs to be crazy. And I think that he's bringing in a solid defense. He's bringing in a solid offense. I think the Huskies are going to fucking destroy Michigan in game 1. So they play Michigan at home week 1 of this season.
9 months from now, just to be clear.
Yes.
Okay.
And you've got the return of Elijah Molden, which is fucking awesome. And it's just so much going on for this Huskies team that I think that they're actually going to be competitors again. This season was a little bit of slip through the cracks, but Peterson's
on his
way out. Eason wasn't as good as everybody thought. The guy just can't win big games. He didn't win a single big Pac-12 game, which shows, and then he's going to the draft. Good luck, dude. You can probably beat the fucking Bengals, but actually with Joe Burrow, never mind.
What's with the Huskies only having quarterbacks named Jake?
It's pretty weird.
It is very weird.
It is very weird. But they love that shit.
Did you see who the Giants hired as their offensive coordinator?
I sure did.
Yeah, Pat Shermer was too creative, I guess, with his very boring play calling. Let's go to Jason fucking Garrett. Jesus Christ.
Although I will say this.
I will say this. Garrett. Oh, my God.
I will say this about Jason Garrett. Head coach, maybe not. But offensive coordinator, I don't see where it could be too bad of a choice.
His scheme is so boring. They need creativity so bad. They have a once-in-a-generation talent at running back, and they're going to use him for 2-yard runs up the middle the whole time. That is not his skill set, man.
Whew, Saquon had a bad year.
Well, he was injured for most of it.
Yeah.
He was nagging injuries,
Bad.
and their offensive line was not great. But yeah, they didn't have the best year. I do want to talk about something different, though. We're going to switch gears. Now, Vito, I have a question for you.
Oh, hey, what's up? I'm
You,
back.
you know about steroids in baseball and how this was a big deal way back in the day?
steroids in sports in general, I feel
This is somewhere in your brain scope, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you familiar with the current cheating scandal that is completely
No.
rocking the MLB? So, Houston Astros, MLB or World Series champions 2 years ago. Apparently, they were using an illegal video feed to steal. Okay, so let's back up. You know, in baseball, the pitcher throws to the catcher, right?
Yeah.
And the catcher gives him hand signals to tell him what pitch to throw,
Yeah.
right? They were using an illegal video feed to decode what these hand signals meant, and then like beating on a trash can to relay that information to the batter. So the batters knew what pitches were coming, right?
Yeah.
This is like rocking the sport right now. The manager and general manager got banned for a year and then fired. Carlos Beltran, who was the player orchestrating this thing, had been hired as the Mets manager, had the job for a month. Now he's fired.
Fucking Mets, dude.
Also, like now all these other scandals are coming out. Like apparently the Red Sox were also doing
Yeah,
this, so their
Red
manager
Sox.
got fired.
Wow.
Apparently there's maybe half to 2/3 of the teams have been doing this. Also, there's a great conspiracy theory about Jose Altuve, who loves to be photographed shirtless. Let's say
Yeah.
how apparently this is unsubstantiated, but this is the best part. He had a buzzer taped to his nipple. That if the pitch that was coming was a changeup, it would give him a little electric shock. This is how he was getting signals relayed. And the reason that this is being seen as a big deal is because A, he loves to take his shirt off. He didn't take his shirt off after that. And in one of these photos, it appears as though he's wearing a wire under his shirt. Like he's in the fucking Sopranos.
I don't know if you can see that though. It's not. I mean, you're wearing an undershirt and then you're wearing a baseball jersey. I don't
Yeah.
think you're going to be able to see a taped up mic.
That's what people are saying based on the photos. So
taped
maybe
up
they're
wire.
doctored, but why didn't he take his shirt off?
That's
'Cause
gotta be
one of
doctored,
the
but
pitchers.
you are right.
One of
He
the
didn't take
pitchers
his shirt
tried to take his shirt off, and he wouldn't let him. And his agent was like, "That's just because he's shy." And then the guy who was listening to was like, "Google Jose Altuve shirtless and tell me that he's fucking shy." Anyways, yeah,
It's crazy, man.
it's
That
totally nuts.
maybe now the Mariners will be able to win. They should just take this fucking scheme thing
Well,
and
and-
run with it.
Clayton Kershaw, who famously can't win in the playoffs, got totally shellacked in Game 7, and it's because the Astros knew what pitch he was going to throw before he threw it. He hasn't been the same since, and the whole narrative around this guy is that he chokes in the playoffs, when in fact they were cheating. Also, the Dodgers lost to both these teams in the World Series, these two teams that are cheating, so they're like, what the fuck? Like, guys.
What do we get?
Yeah. It's
So, how about Russell Wilson being drug tested?
Did
after
that
losing
happen?
to the Packers?
I didn't see that.
He got back home, cleaned out his locker room, and they fucking drug tested him.
Did you see, by the way, so fuck the police, but after the national championship game, Odell Beckham's in the LSU locker room. First
Yeah,
of
what
all,
was up with the fucking police being in there?
they weren't
Fucking
police
bullshitting.
officers. They were stadium security officers.
That's what they were?
First of all. Yeah. Second of all, he's apparently handing out stacks of cash, which means everyone on the team is getting an NCAA violation filed against them because you can't accept cash ever. So what happened in
I
this
think
scenario?
Joe Burrow just fucking accepted it. He's on
They
his
don't
way out
care, yeah.
anyway. He's graduating.
What happened in this video is they're smoking cigars because they just won the national championship, and the security officer is in there giving them a hard time about it. Odell Beckham runs up, gives this guy a slap on the butt because he's being a goober. There's now a fucking arrest warrant out for Odell Beckham.
It's over with now.
Oh, they solved it?
It's over with.
Did
the
he get
guy was like,
arrested?
I'm not pressing charges against him or anything, so they dropped.
Well, why
the
did
thing.
He did in the first place because they don't charge you with that kind of crime unless
you
someone
say
presses
you're-
charges. Yeah,
I think he
so-
might have had a. I mean,
A
let's
talking
just
to.
let's just say this:
Yeah. It was so fucked.
Odell Beckham's lawyers against stadium security guard lawyers. Something that you don't want to get into.
The video was like so damning for that guy. Like he slapped your butt. Like get over it.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an NFL player slapping your ass. Get the fuck out of the locker room if you don't want that shit.
Yeah.
All those guys do is slap each other's asses. It's like, get the fuck out of there. You know? No, I am very happy that LSU won the national championship because I fucking love Joe Burrow. But I do really enjoy Trevor Lawrence. I do think that guy's a lot of fun to watch play. He was special during the playoffs. Good for him for putting up a good fight against LSU. That was a fun national championship. It was the only national championship I've tuned into in the last maybe 5 years. So, I mean, it's just like the world of sports is pretty weird right now. Now that we're in like purgatory without the Seahawks playing right now, Vito. So it's just like no Seahawks, and I have to watch the team that I fucking despise the most. Both teams that I despise the most playing in the NFC Championship is the Packers and the Niners. The Niners completely just obliterated the Packers because the Packers are the worst 13-3 team of all fucking time. They were fucking garbage. And sure, the Seahawks lost to them, whatever, but the Seahawks they had their own problems to begin with, but there's a lot of change up that needs to happen. You know, but one thing I will say is you should get invested in this Dragons football, man.
Yeah?
I think you'll enjoy it. Because every touchdown you have the ability to score fucking an extra 1, 2, or 3 points after the touchdown. There's no ties. Overtime rules are sweet. Kickoff rules are sweet. You have 2 forward passes in one play, which is a little weird, but
That is very weird.
we'll take it. You know what I think about that? 2 forward passes, though? There's going to be a lot of fucking interceptions. Because somebody's going to get it they're going to be running down the sideline. They're going to see somebody in the middle of the field who they think is open. They're going to throw the ball into the middle of the field. The safety is just going to pick it off. It's just going to happen all the fucking time. But there's a Dragons player who has 10 interceptions in training camp against other XFL. So they've been scrimmaging for the last couple of weeks against other XFL teams getting ready for the season.
Maybe
There's a Dragons player that already has 9.
When the first real game starts,
They play on the road to begin with, and then they come home for the home opener, for the season opener at home, and obviously the other, the Sports Bar podcast is having the official tailgate in Hawk Alley. We're going to be creating.
Much do you want to wager that there is no season 2 of the XFL?
I think there's going to be a season 2.
I will put $100 on that there is no season 2 of the XFL right now.
I think there will be.
Are you taking this bet?
I'll do a $100 bet.
Okay.
Why not?
Wow.
But I do think that there is going to be a season 2, just because it is something extremely different from football, and it's not it's not like, what it was back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, exactly.
It's football, but it's not NFL football.
Yeah.
And this is what
I just
people.
thought it was funny that you said it's extremely different from football.
Oh yeah,
So different. It's still football.
But I guess what I'm trying to say
I know what
is,
you meant, though, yeah.
yeah, it's a completely different game
From NFL, yeah.
and I think people are going to be more interested in that because the time is going to be moving a lot faster. Games aren't going to be 3 fucking hours long, or I think they have a max limit of 3-hour long games, so they're really trying to make it like we got to make this fucking game fly. So the clockwork's going to be different. The scoring is going to be different. I love the ability to score 9 points on a touchdown. I think that's fucking sweet. So no extra point kicks. So you have to pretty much go for the end zone after you score touchdowns. So it's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of turnovers. There's going to be a lot of turnovers.
The quarterback play is going to be bad. I mean,
but this is just more set up and more organized and more official than it ever has been. Back when it came out, it was nowhere near what it is now. And, you'd be surprised. The popularity it's pretty big. Like when we went to the mini camp, the fucking line outside of Memorial Stadium went down 2 blocks. It was a fucking huge line, and they packed that little Memorial Stadium up. And
I've seen a line that big when Skrillex was playing there.
I mean, sure, but the fucking music and concerts is a whole different story. But, you're talking about a football organization that's brand new, that people don't really know about, and they're already packing the house. And the games will be played at CenturyLink, so it's a bigger environment. But, when I was talking to a lot of the players, they said that playing in CenturyLink gives them that special edge over a lot of the other teams, because a lot of the other teams are playing in, college stadiums and stuff like that. These guys are playing where the Seahawks play. So when I was talking to Case and Williams, I was like, tell me a little bit about, I was like, you played for the Seahawks. Tell me a little bit about going back to CenturyLink and playing in CenturyLink for the XFL. Says that it gives them, that home field advantage that you're not going to get anywhere else in the XFL. I think that Seattle is going to be the loudest stadium in the XFL, which, of course, is a gimme. We have a great fan base here for it. The teams, there's a lot of good talent on these teams, a lot of young talent, a lot of players that you really saw succeed in college, and then they just went to the NFL, and it just didn't work out. And, sometimes it happens. But I do think that the XFL is going to be like the Canadian Football League, where it's so different in its own way that it works out just fine. And I think that it's a great stepping stone from playing there to going into the NFL. It gives chances for all these players to keep playing football. And a few players have decided, I'm not going to go out there and play for a league that's not going to pay me as much as the NFL because I'm putting my body on the line. But it's all respect to them for doing that, but their football careers are over, essentially, if you're doing that. If you're just going to say, well, I'm not going to play for this league because I could get hurt and it ruins my career. It's like, you respect it, but at the same time, it's there so that you can have that stepping stone to a career. I guarantee you, Casey Williams is probably going to play, a full season with the Dragons, maybe another one, and then he's going to go to a team in the NFL. The guy is special. The guy's great. He's a great player. So it's going to be fun to see. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. BJ Daniels is on the Dragons now. He played on the Seahawks, so he's returning. He won a Super Bowl with the Seahawks. He's returning to CenturyLink again. He said that was very special. Trey Williams says that playing at Texas Tech, coming here, the fan base is, incredible. He loves it. He can't wait to get in there and play. It's going to be, dude, I think it's going to be fun. And, fucking season tickets are cheap. Why the fuck not capitalize on cheap football where you can just go and get hammered before the game starts, walk to the stadium, and just have a blast? I think it's going to be special. I'm going to buy a jersey day one at the stadium.
Hold on to that because it'll be a collector's item.
I think so. When the XFL is booming 15 years
when
from
it
now.
goes under in 6 months.
But I do think they should really play it safe and keep it to the 8 teams for maybe 3 years. Do this minimal 3 years thing with these teams. Then you can start talking about adding 2 more for an expansion. San Antonio or, Las Vegas or something like that. San Antonio needs a football team.
Why? It's so close to Dallas.
They brought in the Crusaders, which was I don't know if they were, no, not the Crusaders. I don't remember what the fuck.
Wait, don't they
called.
have one?
They're in the AAF, and they fucking packed that stadium like crazy, man. It was really fun to watch, and I'm excited. I think it's gonna be fun.
AAF was smart putting all the teams in the South. I just don't think that Seattle can care about a third football team if you count the Huskies and Seahawks as 2 separate teams. Like, they just don't care.
I think just people want more football. I think that's as simple as it is.
Honestly, as the person who lives in this area where it's always fucking crowded no matter what the football is, and how, 90% of the crowd isn't even football fans, they're, moms and shit, I feel like this community is one of the communities that would be into just football for football. As long as it's from Seattle.
We'll see.
It's the Seattle team. Go Seattle team.
Seattle is very much a
community.
I don't know about giving. I think you should have given Las Vegas an XFL team. I don't know about giving Los Angeles one. I think because Los Angeles fans are fucking terrible, and they don't care about football.
It's the second biggest city, and they care about USC.
It doesn't matter.
UCLA.
Yeah, USC is USC, but they couldn't even pack the house this season once, and they didn't sell out Ram Stadium in the last. Ever since they moved to LA, they haven't sold it out. Even when they went to the Super Bowl, they weren't able to sell it out.
The Chargers are in worse shape.
The Chargers.
They just can't sell
gross.
tickets in that new stadium. It's bad.
Gross.
It's really bad.
Fucking Chargers. They pissed on their own grave, and fuck them. Fuck that organization for moving to LA. San Diego, they should have kept that football team. I would give a team to Las Vegas over giving them to LA, because LA doesn't deserve
See
another
how the
football
Raiders
team.
do.
But I think Las Vegas is going to fucking love having the Raiders. But the only problem is you can't take Oakland fans away from the Raiders. Oakland fans are going to travel to Las Vegas really well. And then I also think that it's a good stepping stone for people to go see their teams play on the road.
Yeah.
Because you can go to LA and you can go to Las Vegas and watch the Seahawks play the Raiders. And I do think it'll be a lot better than going to fucking Oakland to see them play. I think it's going to be a lot better because you have so much more to do. You have Las Vegas. You can be there for the weekend. You can go fucking gamble. And then you can go see the football game and then fly home, and it takes 2 hours to get home.
Are there going to be like slot machines and shit in the stadium?
I don't think so.
They're in the airport and stuff.
That would be hilarious.
Well, that would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty sweet if they had a casino in there.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
I know.
I'm excited for the future of football. I think football's booming. I think this Aaron Hernandez documentary was an attempt to jab football, and it didn't work because all it pretty much was Aaron Hernandez was the way he was because he played football and because he was in the closet. It's like, no, it's not what it was. Aaron Hernandez is a murderer.
That's what somebody else says. Maybe he was just a shitty dude.
Maybe maybe
murdered
he's just
someone because he bumped into him in
the.
the club. And he was on PCP too. I mean, like
The guy was a piece of shit.
yeah.
And there's a lot of people who have sympathy for him after this documentary. I'm like, how in the fucking world do you have sympathy for this guy? He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't believe it. People having sympathy for him. It's fucking crazy. But, yeah, fuck. XFL starts in 3 weeks. Can't wait.
I do have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
If we can agree that 2 Super Bowl rings makes you an elite quarterback, after the Niners win and Jimmy Garoppolo gets his 3rd Super Bowl ring, is he going to the Hall of Fame?
No.
Why not?
Because
he would have more than both the Manning brothers.
it makes a difference.
More than
It makes a difference
Roethlisberger.
if you're actually playing the Super Bowl.
2-time Super Bowl champion Jimmy Garoppolo. Just saying.
Sure. You've got one-time Super Bowl champion Tavares Jackson.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's like it don't work like that. Jimmy Garoppolo has, I love Ryan Tannehill at the Titans, but Jimmy Garoppolo has Ryan Tannehill syndrome, where his run game is so fucking retardedly good that all he has to do is throw the ball 3 times in the game. What did Garoppolo throw for yesterday?
82 yards.
82 yards in 6 attempts?
8. He was 6 for 8. He had 6 completions. 75% completion
But here's the
percentage,
one
man.
thing, though. The one thing is, if your run game works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So the idea that they didn't force Jimmy Garoppolo to throw the ball is a whole different story. I'm not saying that Jimmy Garoppolo is not a good quarterback, but if they're forced to throw it against Kansas City, he's going to buckle under pressure.
Did you see George Kittle wearing the Jimmy Garoppolo T-shirt
Yes.
at the press conference?
I love George Kittle, man. I think that guy's awesome.
Fun. Travis Kelce.
I'm happy for
cursing on live TV too. That also happened yesterday.
That was awesome. Fucking love you, man.
Where's the censor, man? Why did they let this through?
I love that Sherman's going back to the Super Bowl. Happy for him.
So who are you rooting for?
Chiefs.
Ugh, fuck Andy Reid. No way. Niners. It's gonna be the Niners.
Niners are going to win, but I'm rooting for the
don't know.
Chiefs.
Patrick Mahomes is pretty fucking good, and he makes Andy Reid look not not an idiot with his terrible time management.
Dude, Pat Mahomes is unreal.
Yeah.
That guy's nuts.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, great quarterback. But when it comes down to it, once he gets figured out, he's going to have to be forced to really... He's not going to be running the ball as much as he did this year, next year. And hopefully Lamar Jackson can adapt to that and just be a great mobile quarterback that can escape the pocket. And I think that Lamar Jackson's going to have a great career if he stops taking unnecessary hits. Russell Wilson and Pat Mahomes don't take unnecessary hits.
Imagine how
Lamar
good
Jackson
Russell Wilson...
and Deshaun Watson take very unnecessary hits. I love Deshaun Watson as well, but that man takes so many unnecessary... Dude, he's getting just beat up, and his O-line is fucking terrible.
Imagine how good the Seahawks and Russell Wilson could be if the coaches let him be Russell Wilson before they were down 3 scores in the 3rd quarter, man.
I don't even want to talk about it because that's exactly what we're saying.
That's what I've been saying since the beginning. That Pete Carroll's he's outdated and he needs to go. He's the oldest coach in the NFL, and the game's moved past him. Every time they lose, he always says we should have run the ball more. Like every time.
The one thing that really blew me away was when they lost against Green Bay. He was flat out said that they didn't have a fucking they didn't have a game plan.
They just didn't have one.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like, how do you not have a fucking game plan in the playoffs? And it just makes you think that when you go back to fucking playing, when you go back to fucking playing in that last San Francisco game, how are you not fucking prepared for that? How do you know? Sure, you don't have to have Marshawn out there, but you have two other running backs that can go out there and play, and you don't have either one of them ready? How the fuck does that work? Or how do you not have a play drawn up for when you get to the 1 yard line and the clock is
That's
fucking
the real
ticking?
question, yeah.
It just makes you think that there are some things that Pete Carroll is not very good at. And
Coaching is one of them.
I think a lot of people love to suck on his, they love to suck on his ride, but it's like, when you think about it, Pete Carroll has a lot of fucking problems. I don't think he should be gone, but I do think he needs to be put in check. I think John Schneider needs to really, get an idea of what the offense is going to be. Are we going to build Russell Wilson a team that allows Russell Wilson to be Russell Wilson, or are we going to allow our franchise quarterback to hand the ball off to a third-round draft pick? It just really comes down to that. And there's a lot of questions in the Seahawks. I really hope that Will Dissly can come back and stay healthy. I fucking love when Will Dissly's on the field, but the only problem is tearing up your knees twice. Never good. Never bueno.
No bueno.
But I think with that being said, Super Bowl is coming up. San Francisco's going to win the Super Bowl.
The fuck was that?
What, did you just get shocked?
I got some... well, there we go. Cable was loose, and it jumped through my ear. Oh, it's happening again. Carry on. We should wrap up.
I was just going to say.
Something
I'm
weird
going
is
to carry
happening.
on into wrapping us up.
I'm just
I'm going to let
turn
Vito
my
hit us out
headphones
with
off.
we'll let Vito hit us up with the wrap up.
See you guys next time.
The line is see you knuckleheads next week. That was episode 64.